Yes, Florence is here, and Florence is a tropical storm now, as you just heard from Malachi. And what we've been seeing here today, early this morning, we really started to see some of those strong wind gusts, up to 50 miles an hour. As we heard from Governor McMaster earlier in the emergency management press conference that they held, some of the fastest winds that have been registered here in South Carolina have happened in Conway and here in Myrtle Beach. You can start to see right here, my photographer, water is starting to pool in some of these areas. We're just on the other side of maybe a 14-story hotel here, but you're starting to see the water pool, and even worse along Ocean Boulevard. We can show you some video that we shot about 2 hours ago. This is some of the first flooding that we were able to capture on Ocean Boulevard as we went up and down the boulevard all throughout the day. Right around 4 o'clock, we saw this right there on Ocean Boulevard, right at 21st Avenue North, right in front of the Breakers Hotel, is where that flooding started to happen there on Ocean Boulevard. And it's because of things like that, they have decided in North Myrtle Beach to start pulling public safety officers, first responders off of the roads, like police officers and firefighters, because the conditions have just gotten too bad for them to be out on the road. That flooding is a big part of it. The wind is a big part of it as well. Not all that windy right now, and it's two different worlds that you really kind of experience here in Myrtle Beach. If you're on the backside of one of these hotels, the wind is really not that bad. But if I were to walk over this way to this causeway, and we're trying to keep our equipment dry so we can bring you these live reports, but if we were to go over to this way in some of these causeways in between the hotels, boy, the wind really starts to whip up there, kind of knocks you off your feet a little bit, but nothing too catastrophic here so far in Myrtle Beach. But again, the worst part of the storm has not come through yet. Diane and Malachi?
So Ben, I know that you're in a safer zone than if you were in North Carolina per se on the coast there, but still, have you run into people in the Myrtle Beach area who decided to hunker down and then regretted it or anything like that?
If we saw anything promising today, and I laugh like that, Diane, because it's an excellent question, and the answer is no. There has not been a whole lot of people out on the streets, definitely not out on the beach like that. Nobody should go out in those waves right now. There has not been a whole lot of people. In fact, we've seen very little people out on the roads to even ask about that. However, I will say this. There is a pizza joint that's open on Ocean Boulevard. We hit it up earlier today. They are locals. They've lived through Hurricane Hugo and other hurricanes through the years. Their biggest concern with Florence is flooding. Flooding. The threat for storm surge has really gone down with the downgrade of this storm. Guys?
All right, absolutely, Ben. And you mentioned the flooding in the streets. Are you seeing any of that flooding make its way to some buildings or anything like that that may cause some concerns over the next couple of hours?
Not quite yet, but definitely over the next couple of hours. Excellent point, Malachi, because we have not seen the brunt end of this storm quite yet. That'll come tonight here in Myrtle Beach. Back to you.
All right, Ben Hoover, we'll let you go inside and get dry. Thank you for that live report.